welcome to Silver Screen News with us, the Silver Screen Dudes. I'm Anthony Jordan.
I'm Nicole.
Right, this is a fantastic news show coming to you each and every Monday. We are giving you every piece of gossip and news that you can imagine in the world of film. Is it true? Is it fake? We'll be here to confirm it for you.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, and to start off our first ever show, we've got a 6-story bit of news roundup for you. We're going to be getting started with World War Z 2. Is it happening, is it not? We will be doing a bit of a comic book roundup. Mark Ruffalo's talking a standalone Hulk movie. Nicole Kidman's supposed to be appearing in the Wonder Woman movie. We've got Hugh Jackman apparently returning to Montreal to film on the set of XMen Apocalypse. We've got our first look of a British favourite, the start of Eddy Redmayne, the first look of Eddy Redmayne in the Harry Potter franchise spin-off. And we're going to be finishing off with a new look at which way we think Hollywood might be going with computer games. That might be the new thing.
Right, okay, sounds very interesting. You're on the edge of your seats, I'm definitely on the edge of my seats. Nick, take it away. World War Z 2.
World War Z 2. Let's start with some zombie action, guys. So, it's been set for a release of June 9th in 2017. The Hollywood Reporter writes that Dennis Kelly, the creator of British series Utopia, is writing a new draft for the sequel. We've also got Jay Bayona who will be directing. Now, Jay Bayona, you may recognize the name of because Universal were drafting him to direct the sequel for Jurassic Park 2, so he seems to have some big blockbuster pedigree behind him. AJ, thoughts on World War Z? And looks like it's hitting on track for 2017. What do you think?
Do you know what? I think it's coming at the right time. I think there's this fine gap in knowing when to release a sequel. I think we've had enough time between that. Brad Pitt, Jay Bayona, I think what you can see is as well, they know the kind of style of director. If he's being possibly being drafted for Jurassic Park 2 with this, he can tamper your mind with monsters, zombies, dinosaurs. So I think it's going to be a good one. World War Z 1 itself was a fantastic film.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
Great film.
Loved it.
And I'm not normally a zombie fan, if I'm honest with you, and they pulled it off. And yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that because it's not about a zombie movie. It's about watching the right one. We both loved World War Z 2. It looks like it's World War Z 1. If it's anything to go by, and if Brad Pitt's involved in the production of it like he was with the first, this should be a fantastic movie. Guys, make sure you tell us what you think of zombie flicks. Make sure to comment below. What's your favourite zombie movie? And let us know if you're excited about World War Z 2.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'll give that a thumbs up. Looking forward to it.
Thumbs up for me too. Should we move on to our second topic?
Yes, indeed.
Alright, we are moving into the realm of comic books, and Mark Ruffalo has announced that he is filming a standalone, there might be or might not be a standalone Hulk movie coming. This is what he had to say. Actually, it feels even further away. It's not Marvel's property, it's Universal's property. I don't know. It seems really problematic. I'd love to do it, it'd be really fun. There's a lot still to do with the character. I always try to think about different places we could go with him. When you get off of the planet Earth, you can start playing with that stuff a little bit. Now, I'd just like to clear one thing up. Hulk does belong to Marvel. He's actually got this wrong. Marvel bought the rights to the Hulk. Now, however, Universal owned the distribution rights to the Hulk, which is where the conflict's coming. What you may not know actually is that some of Marvel's movies, I believe Thor and the first Captain America were distributed by Paramount. Now, what gets me in these comments is the fact that he's talking about getting off planet Earth. So my question is, do you think we're going to see an Incredible Hulk standalone? And I don't, you can fill in the gaps. Do you think we're going off planet Earth? Remember, one last thing. Remember that he has been announced, officially confirmed by Kevin Feige to appear in Thor 3 Ragnarok.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
Yeah. I know where you were going.
Yeah, without going
into
exactly. Without going into the world of spoiler alert, there is the Planet Hulk, which obviously I think anyone who reads it would think, ooh, and then we now have the fact that he could be in Asgard, which is also another interesting place. You know, there are many places that Hulk can be. Right, the distribution. This is always the issue that you're going to have with Marvel. I think
they like to run their own show.
Yeah, you've got so much confusion in what goes where and how it can work. Right, the question now is, do I think we're going to have a Hulk movie, or what do I think of a Hulk movie?
Both. Go for both.
Right, go for both. This is it. Will we have a Hulk movie?
With Ruffalo, obviously.
I think we're definitely going to have Ruffalo. I think if it's going to work, especially based off of Avengers 2, Avengers 2, places where he's been casted before, it wouldn't work without him. It's kind of etched in at the moment. He is Hulk, which is good. We've got a confirmed Hulk. Will we see a standalone movie? I think it needs to be done, because you look at the Avengers in itself. That's the one. Not taking anything away from Black Widow or Hawkeye. Hulk
you had to say Hawkeye. That says it all.
They were seen as SHIELD members.
Yeah.
Whereas Hulk
they should be on Agents of SHIELD.
That
would actually boost the show
up.
up.
That's a complete new topic, but I fully agree with that. Yeah. Hulk is the next character that people are looking for in that realm.
Yeah.
We've seen films that have led to it. People want to see more of Hulk. Where can it go further?
And they want to see more of Ruffalo as Hulk.
Yeah.
We love the Ed Norton Hulk. It had problems, but he was a good Hulk. But people love the Ruffalo Hulk. Now, he's appearing in Thor 3 Ragnarok. Nerd boys right here would love to see a Planet Hulk. There was supposed to be rumors of him appearing on Planet Hulk and featuring somewhere along the lines of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Now, James Gunn has said, it's not happening. He is not in Guardians. That's also sadly confirmed. I think the difficulty you've got with filming a Hulk movie is that obviously you've got the obvious connotation of Jekyll and Hyde being Bruce Banner and the Hulk himself. But the problem with doing a Planet Hulk movie is because it's all Hulk. You don't have that dichotomy between the characters. You know, there is no Hyde without Jekyll and there is no Jekyll without Hyde. The two characters balance themselves. I actually think the closest thing we've seen to a standalone Hulk movie was that little snippet in Avengers 2 where he went cuckoo. You remember when Iron Man got the suit on and started punching him, and then he said, I remember, don't remember Puny Banner. Don't mention Puny Banner.
Yeah.
That's what the Hulk's about.
That is very true.
And it's very hard to make an entire 90-minute movie revolving around that. That's where the difficulty, I think, comes in.
Yeah. The other thing is, will we be entering again into the backstory of Hulk? Because it's been a while.
I don't think
it would. I don't think it's needed, but you have to wonder because of the audiences. Yes, nerd boys like ourselves, those who are of a certain age, but I don't know. It's hard to know where they'll go with it. Do I want to see one? Yes. How will they handle it? Different story.
Do you know what? I'm not saying that Hulk is in the same vein as a Batman or a Superman or even a Spider-Man for that matter, but he's been seen enough over the last 10 years. You know, even in the Norton's Hulk, the only way they did his backstory, which I thought was smart, was a montage, which is what I hope they'll do in that, again, new Spider-Man movie. We don't need to see Bruce Wayne's parents die. We don't need to see Peter Parker bitten by the radioactive spider. We don't need to see...
Are we going for Bruce Banner?
Yeah.
With the atomic bomb?
Yeah.
I know, there's too many. We can go into many backstories that we don't need to see again.
Just give him a spin-off story. Actually, what would be interesting would be... My idea would be what to do between when he gets off the Quinjet in Avengers 2... when he goes off on his own, and does he go straight to Asgard? Because as far as I know, that jet does not have the capabilities of getting to Asgard.
If he stops off at a fueling station halfway through, no. But in seriousness,
guys, what do you think? Are we getting a standalone Hulk movie? And who's your favourite Hulk? I mean, ours, we love Norton, we love Ruffalo. Level pegging for me. Comment below, let us know what you think. Next topic?
Please.
We're staying in the realm of the sweaty. We're going more onto the comic book territory, and Nicole Kidman is supposed to be appearing in Wonder Woman. So here's the story. This report comes from The Wrap. Kidman is currently in talks to star in Wonder Woman. The speculation is her role will be that of the Amazon Queen, and I believe, if I'm not wrong, Diane's mother, Queen Hippolyta. Yeah. Now, what do you think of Nicole Kidman joining Wonder Woman, and who do you think she could be playing, if not Hippolyta, or do you think it is Hippolyta? Well, what do you think of her joining, first off?
Okay, Nicole Kidman, I don't have a problem with. I think in that realm, I will listen to it, and Queen Hippolyta, the minute I heard Nicole Kidman joining Wonder Woman, that was the first thing that hit my head.
Right.
The other thing is, it depends how you go into the world of Wonder Woman. Because she's... can I say? She had to play a senior role. She has to play the mother. She definitely can't be Wonder Woman. Can't be around that age group. No offense to her.
Well,
it's just
I think
fact.
She might be offended because of all of that work she's had. No offense, but of all that work she's had.
No. She's still a very good-looking woman. Don't get me wrong.
But
age is age.
Look young.
Of course, no. But age is age, and we have to be realistic in where she is. Again, she could. Yeah.
Sorry.
Ooh, and I said yeah so quickly. No, but no, I've always loved Nicole Kidman's work. I think it's something we could look forward to. She could be it's a very interesting and attractive addition to the Wonder Woman franchise. If she's not Queen Hippolyta, it's going to be someone I can see, a villain of some weird
which
nature.
Which villain do you think?
But this is it. It's weird. Do they create one? Is it one that's from the comics? It's weird to figure out.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, you look at, and please don't make me have to bring this up too much. You look at the Catwoman, which wasn't even Selena Kyle, so that tells you how un-Catwoman it was.
Don't.
Exactly, we don't. But then you create your villains in that, and that's the same thing you might get in Wonder Woman. If she's not Queen Hippolyta, she's not just going to be of the council of goddesses out there. She'll probably be some arch villain that they've gone and created and constructed.
I hope not. My thoughts are as follows. There's it's a double-edged sword to this. On the one hand, she's an Oscar winner. It is always good to add talent to your roster of cast, to your cast. You can't go wrong with her acting quality.
No.
However, you may still love this movie. I remember a little movie called Batman Forever. And I remember, does this sound familiar? Hard entrance. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you remember the name of that character?
Yes.
Remind me. Because I've tried to blank out Batman Forever.
Listen,
Chase Meridian.
I know Chase Meridian. Don't worry about that. That was.
I just remembered.
I fully remembered it. Yeah. It's a different category. I think in that she was an additional. She was an extra, not an extra per se, but it was a character that they've added in. In something like Wonder Woman, I can see it's more of a female lead role, and then it's not just going to be a character that didn't necessarily have to be in there.
That's true.
You're looking at a different context of film, and that's where I think Nicole Kidman will really shine.
She's A-class actor, no doubt. Look, last funny point I'm going to make is that whereas the comic books going back to 15 years now, I guess, when we were not in the golden age of comic book movies, a lot of actors kind of dip their foot in the pond of, should I be in this movie or not? Now, what's funny is that as we are now in the golden age of comic book movies, a lot of the actors who were once upon a time in some bad movies, I'm talking Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern, I'm talking Nicole Kidman as Chase Meridian, I'm talking Ben Affleck as Daredevil, all right? What's funny is that they're now re-entering that sphere of entertainment. Ben Affleck is Batman. I was against it. I've been sold on it. I'm growing to like the idea. Nicole Kidman is Queen Hippolyta, as you said. That's the instant click you get. And Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. You're still apprehensive. I'm like,
no. Let me correct that straight away. First of all, going on the Queen Hippolyta, I think that would perfectly work for her. Ryan Reynolds, I do not have a single issue with as Deadpool.
No, but you're nervous about Deadpool.
I'm nervous about the film. I think Ryan Reynolds is the perfect casting. That I couldn't actually pick anyone else. I just hope that what I've seen is, let's take Green Lantern, let's take Green Hornet. I'm bringing them in for the argument. When you try to bring in too much comedy on a superhero aspect, it tends to go wrong. Kick-Ass was different because it's comedy based on, you're creating your heroes, it works that way. When you've got your established heroes, you've got fans with an expectation of something, it tends
You've got to make
wrong.
your comedy relevant to the actual character's comedy.
This is exactly
like Deadpool.
Yeah,
you look like you're the offspring of a raisin and a testicle or something like.
Yeah, it's all there. The humor's definitely
or Iron
there.
Man,
for
that's a good example.
Yeah, exactly. Iron Man works.
Or Hulk punching Thor. Those elements of comedy.
Exactly, you need that comedy.
Forcing it.
Yeah, exactly. It can't be forced comedy, and that's the only thing. I hope we haven't seen the best bits of Deadpool already. I think the action. There's a lot more action to come. So. I hope we haven't heard the funniest lines. The action's going to be on point.
I think we're going to get the funny lines when he breaks the fourth wall.
For sure.
Call me! Stuff like that. Alright guys, tell us what you think about Nicole Kidman as Queen Hippolyta, and we're going to move on to the next topic. Third and last comic book part of today, which is, ladies, you're going to like this one. Hugh Jackman is maybe not returning to XMen Apocalypse. Here's the story. Okay, so as you all know, the principal photography has been completed. But the crew are heading back to Montreal, and they flew back for a few weeks of reshoots. Hugh Jackman is heading up with the crew. Now, what you may not know is, until now, Fox and Jackman have not confirmed or commented about Jackman's involvement in the movie. Everyone's assuming it's Wolverine, it's Jackman, he's carried the franchise, he's going to be in it. But do you think he's going to be in it? Do you think he's going up there to maybe shoot a few scenes for his follow-up movie, which could be tied into this? Or do you think he's going to have, once again, a main role in XMen Apocalypse? I mean, they're going up against the big bad. It doesn't get badder than Apocalypse.
It doesn't get badder. Right. The first thing is, I think he's going to be in Apocalypse, and I'll tell you why. I think the main key link to any X-Men movie we have has been Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. It's the thing that everyone looks forward to. Even when you take First Class, where he had no relevance whatsoever.
Yeah, but what a line.
Exactly.
What a line.
Yeah. PG friendly, so we won't get into it. But yeah, he had his cameo.
Yeah.
You just need that link of... It's like in the Marvel Universe, people look forward to Stan Lee. And you look forward to Stan Lee, you say X-Men, you look forward to Wolverine, and that's just the way it is. So I think you've completed the film and he's signed onto a contract that there's one last Wolverine left in him, and they didn't want to trouble him. And
Old man Logan.
Everyone thinks, right, we're not gonna go there, we'll just leave him for that. But then they thought, well, okay, it's not a film, that's it. I don't think we're gonna have a heavy influence of Wolverine, but at the same time, everyone's going to think, looking at the whole lead up, Wolverine's been there, then the fight is about to take place and he's not there. I'm not saying which way it's going to go. I'm not going to give a potential spoiler and say, oh, maybe he's been neutralized or some stupidness. But it's Apocalypse. We all know Wolverine to be the top dog. We can't have that fight without him.
Okay. Everything you've said is true, but it stops. It starts and stops with X-Men Days of Future Past. Disclaimer, I hate that movie. And I'm not a DC fanboy, I'm not a Marvel fanboy. I like comic book movies. I hate that movie. Oh yeah, it was such a great way of merging the old characters with the new. Yes, agreed. What was Wolverine's role in that movie? Deliver a message to Professor Xavier of the past. What did he do from then on? He was non-existent. So what I'm worried about with Apocalypse is, hate on me if you want, comment below, call me every name under the sun. I hate that movie, deal with it. The fact is that he was there just for the sake of being there in X-Men Days of Future Past. If you doubt it, honestly, watch it again, guys. From the moment young Xavier gets the message from him, okay, I think he mentions that he knows a guy and introduces them to Quicksilver. Beyond that, look at what he does. He has no function within the movie. Zero. The final fight. He gets wrapped around in iron bars and cement and shot.
Spoiler alert.
Okay. Guys, if you haven't seen it by now, you shouldn't be watching, alright? But sorry for the spoilers. Look, he was useless, all but useless, other than the message and introducing Quicksilver, who we loved, but he didn't serve any purpose there. Now, I think it's actually a missed opportunity if that's how they're going to use him in Apocalypse. Again, we don't know. But correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't he in one of the variations of Apocalypse? Wasn't he one of the 4 horsemen?
Yes.
See, what I think they could have done is if they'd used him as a horseman of the apocalypse, which we know it's not happening. That we know is not happening. We've got our 4 horsemen. It's what? Magneto, Psylocke, Storm, and I'm blanking. But we've got our 4 horsemen. I think if they'd done a story where Wolverine became one of the 4 horsemen, it would have been out of left field, turning the main character into a bad, and then the last movie would have him dealing with the consequences of him being one of the 4 horsemen. I think it's a missed opportunity. I'm looking forward to Apocalypse, even though he looks like something from out of Power Rangers. Have you seen the images?
I have.
He looks like Ivan Ooze. If you know who Ivan Ooze is, we can be friends.
Thumbs up to you. Yeah, you're from our gen. Yeah. Okay. I think what you said is perfect. We can't go too long on this, but that is perfect. I think though what they're doing is the fact that we have to get used to a world where
without Logan.
Yeah. There is going to be a Jackman-less X-Men coming soon, and the torch has to be passed on, and that's kind of what you've done. Yes, there are arguments to his use. It's a really good point that I hadn't probably not looked at before, but I think he was in there enough. And now, looking at this one with Apocalypse, okay, he's not one of the horsemen, but there are stuff that I don't know which way it can go, but I think a cameo used just enough, he will be the guy that he's always been.
All right, I'm going to ask you guys, just before we move on, I'm going to ask you and you guys one question now. Dream casting for the new Wolverine. Comment below. 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I can't. No, I'm blanking. I needed more time. I need more time.
Can I throw out mine? Okay, I'm getting prepared for the. Look, the fact of the matter is, before I throw this out, we got to keep this short. But the fact of the matter is, whenever you recast a major role, be it Obi-Wan Kenobi, be it James Bond, be it Superman, be it the Joker, all right? There's always going to be people who are on one side of the fence, and most people are going to be on the other saying, no, how dare you, this is terrible, blah, blah, blah. Hear me, Zac Efron. Not because I'm trying to be a hipster, not because I'm trying to be funny. Yeah, his last movie, We Are Your Friends, was embarrassment. I don't know why he did that. That young boy has come a long way since 17 again. He can act. Watch this space. That boy can act. And I just picture him with that little hair he's got. I mean, yeah, Hollywood. You can make anyone look like anyone. It doesn't have to be because he fits the role. But he's at that right age where he could join the first class crew. He's young. He's toned. Like, he's got the body to join.
I hear you.
And I don't think the role is above Zac Efron. You're going to hate me for this. Go ahead and comment. But
there's a whole high school fans out there who will.
Yeah, but it's not for that reason.
No.
It's not for that reason, although there's that too.
Zac Efron is a decent actor, a good actor. I take back decent.
And he'll grow. He'll grow.
He will grow.
Channing Tatum can be Gambit. Zac Efron can be Wolverine. As far as I'm
argument
concerned.
is the age. Right, we are accustomed to the fact that Wolverine is a senior member to the X-Men.
No, but we got to get unaccustomed to that. You don't have a Wolverine. We got to move on to the next thing. Unless you got a Wolverine.
I haven't got a Wolverine, but I think he's too young. That's the only point I'll put. All right, decent actor, but too young.
Guys, what do you think? Are you excited about XMen Apocalypse? Do you want to see Hugh Jackman in the new Wolverine? What do you think his last Wolverine story is going to be? And big one, who do you think that the new Wolverine should be once Jackman finally retires the claws? All right. Okay, guys, we are now going to move on to what us British boys are very proud of, other than James Bond, which is smashing records everywhere. We're going to be talking some Harry Potter now. So as a lot of you know, we've got a spin-off coming for Harry Potter, which is called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Now, we've got plot details as well as a first look. This was on the cover of Entertainment Weekly. You can check it out online. There'll be a link in the description below if you want to see it. Eddy Redmayne is in his first shot here, as you can see, as Newt Scamander, along with an all-star cast. Now, hear this for a cast, including Colin Farrell, Ron Perlman, John Voight, Ezra Miller, and Alison Sudol. So we've got a big cast there lined up. Now, it's going to be directed by David Yates, who did The Deathly Hallows. And here are the plot details. So it's going to be set in the year 1926 in New York. Redmayne is on a quest to find and document magical creatures. The image which you saw just a minute ago with him and his briefcase, that's a magical briefcase which can actually hold and contain all the creatures that he's documented and captured in various compartments. Also that the New York wizard community, this is another part of the story, the wizarding community of New York is much more fearful of muggles than that of the UK. So there's going to be more of a division between the Muggle world and the New York world. So AJ, are you excited about the Harry Potter spin-off? Do you like the fact that Eddy Redmayne... Well, no. Do we like Eddy Redmayne being in it? We love Eddy Redmayne being in it. Are you excited about it, and what do you think of the first look?
Looks interesting. Looks very interesting, and I think there's a powerful cast, so it's hard to not get excited for it.
Well, your boy Colin Farrell, huh?
Hey, Colin Farrell's always been one that I could rate. He crossed my mind as I heard his name as a Wolverine, but I'm not going to get back on that topic. Right. Now, my thing is, I'm excited, don't get me wrong. It sounds like a very interesting film. Is when you start to link it with other films, when people start to fail to understand the link between Harry Potter and this film. There are links, don't get me wrong, but they want to see something, they start to expect certain bits.
I think that, just as this is the first shot we're having, or they've got a few covers that have been released other than the main one with which we just showed up with Eddy Redmayne on the cover of Entertainment Weekly. There's one cover which says "From the Harry Potter Wizarding World." On the cover of Entertainment Weekly it says Harry Potter spin-off, and this is just the beginning. Given that this movie is releasing a year from now, November next year, you know the marketing push on this is going to be huge.
Most definitely.
I don't think people are going to get twisted with the fact that it's a Harry Potter spin-off. Is it in the same world?
This is the other thing is that sometimes it could even be a fantastic standalone movie that you don't necessarily...
There's 3 planned, by the way.
But
It's
right, there you go.
pre-planned.
Well, yeah, when I say standalone, in the sense that that franchise, as much as it's linked, is independent from Harry Potter. It's got its link, but it's not. You can watch it independently, and I think that can work. So, I don't really see an argument in it. I think you've got a strong cast, strong story. It all makes sense.
I like the new setting. I like the fact that we're moving away from Hogwarts. I think it's interesting that we're going to go see wizarding community from other countries. I think it's
the
really...
Muggle perspective as well.
The Muggle perspective sounds cool. I think it's really refreshing that we're not dealing with... Well, I don't know. We might be, but it doesn't seem like we're dealing with Voldemort. Also, he who shall not be named.
I was going to say, he said it, not me. He shall not be named.
We're not dealing with that storyline again. Harry Potter is probably not going to be in it. I have no idea if there's going to be any direct link to him. It's a direct spin-off just set in the same world, and I think it's refreshing. And with the CG that we have nowadays... which is not killing movies, but with the CGI that we have nowadays, I cannot wait to see some of the beasts that they create.
It would be fantastic, actually. I mean,
You go back to those early Harry, especially like 1, 2, a little bit 3, even though that was my favourite one. You watch it now from a post-2010 perspective, you can see a little bit of green screening on there. You can see where they've done the CGI. It does look ever so slightly dated.
Do you know the issue with that? Evolution. No matter which way you look at it, this film that we're talking about, exactly.
Toy Story goes back to '95. It still looks great.
Yeah, but when you're talking real with CG as opposed to just animation,
sure,
you're always going to find, hey, Back to the Future, I'm one of the biggest fans, and you look back at it now, like, really, you thought Jaws was going to look like that? It's just the way life is, when you interact real people with.
Speaking of old movies, guys, make sure to watch us every Thursday for Throwback Thursdays, but carry on.
We do go back.
Way back. Too far back.
Tune in on Thursday. It's a scary one. But yeah, that's just the way it is. Anytime you mix people with graphics, you're always going to have improved quality, and you are going to see the differences. So yes, Harry Potter 1 and 2, compared to the later films, are going to look that way. The monsters are going to look fantastic now. In 5 years or 10 years time, when we're doing a throwback of that, kids are going to be watching us like, you thought that was real?
You think we're still going to be doing YouTube videos in 10 years time?
Hey,
who knows?
That's up to you guys. That's on you guys. Like, subscribe, thank you.
Nice one. All right, guys, we're going to finish off with our final topic of the day, which is now, so we're in the golden age of comic book movies, but there seems to be a shift happening. There's this constant rumor going around that, we're getting superhero fatigue, with all the Marvel movies, and DC are about to join the fray, and now Fox are doing even more X-Men movies. Well, we say no, but where we only account for a small, as big as it seems to be now, you get more geeks popping up everywhere, which, hey, my people!
Welcome to the club.
But you still hear a lot from, my mum and dad are a perfect example. Big moviegoers, they're not into the whole comic book thing. And that superhero fatigue is becoming more and more of a factor of, is it ruining Hollywood? You hear that more and more. So there seems to be a shift in Hollywood now. We seem to be moving into an attempted movement of doing computer game movies. Now, this may seem like, they're just cashing in on the cinematic universe that Marvel's created and DC are following up with. Hold that thought. Go back 10, 15 years, like we were saying earlier, yeah? You've got all of the superhero movies, which, bar Spider-Man 2, I can't really think of much good in there. I'm sure there's one or two which I'm not thinking of, but that's the one that instantly pops to mind. And just like 10, 15 years ago, there was a load of, bad, I'll say again, bad video game movies. You brought one up just when we were off camera. Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive.
And you want a female Ghostbusters? I didn't say that. I'm sorry. All right, wait. Not gonna even get into that. I was joking, ladies. All right, that was a joke. You've got Dead or Alive, Resident Evil.
Doom.
Okay, guilty movie pleasure. Doom. Doom was bad. It was Silent Hill, Alone in the Dark.
Yeah.
There's more. Just bad. Now, what's interesting is the trailer for the new Warcraft dropped this week. Link for that's in the description if you want to go watch the new Warcraft trailer, and it looks good. Now, the main bit of news we're actually getting onto here is announced as of today. If you've heard of a big RPG game set in, originally from Poland, called The Witcher, it's just gone into pre-production and it's set for a 2017 release. Here's the full story. So the Sean Daniel Company, who are famed for The Mummy and who are doing the upcoming remake of Ben-Hur, have partnered with Platige Films, who are the company that produced the cinematics for all of the 3 games, which are 1, 2, and 3. The books, games, and the planned movie project follow the adventure of Geralt of Rivia in a fantasy land known as the Continent, which is loosely based on Poland. Though the film will not follow the games themselves, but will be an original story following Geralt of Rivia. Now, first off, the question is, are you excited for The Witcher? And do you think that with the Warcraft trailer, the fact that Assassin's Creed, with big names like Marion Cotillard and Fassbender, is coming. And again, just yesterday, there was, this one I don't like, but there was an announcement for a Call of Duty universe. Are we seeing a shift into a computer game world? Or do you think it's a feeble attempt? And if it does happen, do you think we're finally at a place where we're gonna get quality computer game movies? Or is it still too early?
I'm gonna first kick off with is my pleasant surprise at the Warcraft.
Right?
I think, no offense to the Warcraft players, but it's not a game I played.
No,
so I didn't know what to expect from the film. I think it works because it's in realms that I can appreciate, you know, and that part of it works. The Witcher is very similar. I believe it's not something I've played.
I have. I'm going to cut you off there. I didn't like The Witcher simply because I didn't have time to commit to it. It's huge. It's massive. And I'm not talking GTA, I'm talking beyond massive. I didn't have time to give it.
This is what I'm saying. It's not something I've played, so it's not something I can familiarise myself with. However, it's something I'm looking forward to in the world of film. I believe the architecture is there, and what I think is where
the lore is fascinating. By the way, it's really fascinating what they do. You get gamers out there who have played it know what I'm talking about. The magic, the mythology of the witches, and how they're marginalised by society, and that yet they're still used as kind of mercenaries. It's cool. Like, it's really cool. The idea sounds great, but then again, the idea for an Assassin's Creed sounds great.
This is what now. We talk. Okay, let's go into the comic book part and look at this. You talk about the golden age, the golden era. You look at the previous films. You are going to have hit and misses. Now, you can get very excited. The thing is, you look at a game like Call of Duty, and you think, "Wow, Call of Duty, massive selling game.
It's just a shooter."
This is the problem. How do you then create the characters? And then you get these stories that no one can really relate to, but it has the name of a film, and it goes wrong.
Call of Duty is the one that's got me worried too.
Do you know what? Let's go even deeper into comic book, into video game films. Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter.
Oh, they're great.
There you go.
That's a guilty movie pleasure, though.
A guilty pleasure.
Get over here.
Yeah, you're gonna have some,
Sorry, that was bad. Get over here! There you go.
Mortal Kombat has that market of people who love it. It's the biggest guilty pleasure going.
Oh yeah.
You have the haters.
Tied with Street Fighter.
Street Fighter, I believe, had been panned a whole lot more. And this is what's going to happen.
Kylie Minogue was in that, wasn't she?
Yes, she was. She was our Cammy, she was. It's going to be interesting. I believe it's going to... as much as it looks new, it's because it's a wave coming. I think...
Yeah.
When you look at the aspect of film, you need to find your origins from somewhere. It's fantastic when you get a Terminator or a Back to the Future, a very new, an Avatar even, or The Matrix, something brand new.
Yeah.
But then
John Wick. Yeah, John Wick for a most recent one.
You go back to the grain, and that is you take a comic book, you even take a Grimm Brothers story. You take certain elements of something, and you do it. And right now, it's just a wave of video games that's coming.
There's going to be so many people hating on this new movement. Sorry, carry on what you were saying.
Hate on it, but I don't think it's ushering out the comic books. I just think it's a new contender. I think it's gonna.
Do you think it's gonna have that type of impact on Hollywood? Completely take over what the movie industry is about.
And I'll tell you why. We've just seen what Marvel have unleashed for what they plan to be a series of films coming out. Those are going to be going against these video games. DC have just started with their Justice League franchise.
Yeah, but they've got two little characters called Batman v Superman who can really level the playing field.
This is what I'm saying. That has just started, but in that, if you have just started that and these films have been announced, with that Justice League film that's going to come about, people are going to want to see more of Flash. They're going to want to see more of Wonder Woman, more of Aquaman. That's a franchise in itself just waiting to go forward.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's ushering that out. Am I looking forward to the video game movies? Bring it on. It's there. It's nerd heaven. It's video games and comics. What more do we want? And it's on film.
Yeah, my dad's not going to be a happy man. I tell
Do you know what? It's the same. I had another argument. It's a new generation. Classic film fans, I appreciate you. I salute you daily. But it's the evolution. This is what people want nowadays, and that's how it's going to go.
I agree. Now, I'm going to add one little thing to what you've just said regarding one question which remains is, do you think that the quality of these movies is going to be of a high caliber, or is it a cash-in based on what Marvel and DC are doing and planning to do? My view is that, as you just said, Call of Duty, there is no one relatable there. It's a grunt, brainless shooter with a loosely tied on story. Whether you just call it Call of Duty and make an entirely original story or base it off a game, there's not much there. Warcraft is interesting with the fantasy world. Witcher, which is on topic here, of all of them, I think has got one of the most interesting lores. Didn't finish it, didn't have enough time to play it, but I mean, it was a damn interesting story. Assassin's Creed and Witcher, which I told you, Platige Films, who did the cinematics for the game, and with the Assassin's Creed, you've got Ubisoft, who have made their own studio.
Okay.
Right, and now Blizzard also, who made the Warcraft games, they've made their own studio. What's reassuring me a bit here is it's just like the old Marvel properties.
Yeah.
Because people just call them Marvel movies. Some of you who are not so nerdy might not know that the old Marvel movies, which stoinked, were not made by what's called now Marvel Studios, which is under the banner and umbrella of Disney, right? And they were just characters owned by the Marvel Comics, which were leased out with an option to buy for the different production companies and studios. Now, what's interesting here is that Ubisoft, who are a massive game company, have looked at this and gone, okay, we need to treat this game with the quality and make it with the quality that we are known for in the game world. Say what you will about the games, love them or hate them, but it shows that the studio cares about what's going on. Otherwise, they would have just sold the rights. Same applies for Blizzard. Same applies for Platige Games and studios who are making The Witcher. It reassures me in the sense that the studios aren't just phoning it in. They've set up their own studios.
Creative control is so important in that. When handling something that has a fan base, you can't let your fans down.
No.
And it's a good point. It's a very good point. As I said, there will be hits and misses. I believe Assassin's Creed, Witcher,
please be good.
Warcraft, these ones, I hope. The interesting thing about it is which part of Assassin's Creed are they going to go to? So many volumes of it.
From what just on that, before we finish, as far as I know, they're not doing Michael Fassbender, who's playing the assassin, isn't based off of any of the assassins. He's not Altair or Ezio. It's an entirely new assassin.
Which is good in itself, because instead of making a game, they made the movie. We'd like to control Fassbender as a game, maybe later on that could work. But I think that can work. And as I said, it's going to be hits and misses. I can see those working. Nothing against Call of Duty. If I can't relate, you're just giving anything a title. It might as well be SWAT. Do you know what I mean? It's guys with guns. It's no offense, but that's what we're talking.
Yeah, it's fun online, but I don't think it's much to look at in a movie because there's no substance there.
You have to create a backstory and...
yeah, it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
But it's happening.
Do you know what? It's what happens with Doom. You look at Doom and it just...
First person, reload, kill.
Exactly. We had to do something to give you that point. And that's where... Those are the elements of where it can go wrong. Prove me wrong. Please, prove me wrong and prove that Call of Duty is the best film that will come out from the video game world. I welcome to be proven wrong. I welcome being wrong. I welcome being wrong. But it's just the view I have. Initial reception, that's what I think. So...
That's it for this show, guys. That was so that's the first show of Silver Screen Movie News, our main show, which you can catch every Monday. In the description, you're gonna find all the links of the things that we talked about throughout the show. You're also gonna find links in the slideshow in the outro that's gonna show in just a minute of all of our social media and some more videos that you can click on. You can find on our homepage all of the information about our weekly schedule. We air every day, Monday through to Friday, where you can find everything from top 10s, which we call Movie Mount Rushmore. You can find our Throwback Thursdays, which we're looking forward to, make you guys feel old or introduce you guys to some new movies. Our box office breakdown, which airs on Mondays like this show here, and a load of other cool stuff, guys. So make sure you subscribe, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, hit us up on Instagram, get on it. Silver Screen Dudes.
Network, we do it. So, from myself, Anthony Jordan.
From me, Nick LaRoe.
Catch you next week for this show and during the week for the rest. Signing out.
See you guys. Nice one, man. That was good. That was smooth.
Alright. A little bit heavy on the comic book stuff. But it was the news that was there.